Welcome to tonight's meditation. Willkommen zu der Meditation heute Abend. Wir haben zuerst eine halbe Stunde Meditation und dann fährt der Matthias weiter mit dem letzten Teil vom Einführungskurs. So we start with half an hour meditation and then you'll continue with Matthias for the end of the introduction course. So just sit comfortably, your back straight. Setzt euch bequem mit aufrechtem Rücken. And let go of all the tension in your body. Und lasst alle Spannung in eurem Körper los. Tonight, let's have a conversation with our mind. Lasst uns heute eine Unterhaltung mit unserem Geist haben. I speak to my mind with love, with interest, with clarity. Ich spreche zu meinem Geist mit Interesse, mit Liebe, mit Klarheit. Hey mind, are you listening? I want to have a deep conversation with you tonight. Geist, hörst du zu? Ich will heute mit dir eine tiefe Unterhaltung führen. Just sit comfortably. How do you feel right now? What are the thoughts going on inside of you? Wie fühlst du dich gerade? Welche Gedanken kommen in dir hoch? I want to know how you are right now. Ich möchte wissen, wie es dir jetzt gerade geht. While I'm speaking to my mind, I listen and feel to catch the answer. Und während ich mit meinem Geist spreche, höre ich und spüre was der Geist mir sagen möchte. Hey mind, you know, you can totally relax now. You don't need to work. You don't need to analyze or solve a problem. You can just relax now. Hey Geist, du darfst dich einfach entspannen. Du musst nicht arbeiten oder irgendwelche Probleme lösen. Du darfst einfach sein. And as I talk to my mind, I become aware of the feelings that come up. Und während ich zu meinem Geist spreche, werde ich mir der Gefühle bewusst, die hochkommen. Mind, you like it when you have my full attention, don't you? When I'm listening and when I'm interested, what's happening in your world. Geist, du magst es nicht wahr, wenn ich zu dir spreche, wenn ich ganz da bin für dich, wenn ich zuhöre. Mind, I know that very often I am absent. I'm not aware what's happening inside of you. And I want to excuse myself for that. Mein Geist, ich weiß, dass ich sehr oft abwesend bin und nicht wahrnehme, was in dir vorgeht. Und das tut mir leid. You know my mind. You're very dear to me. and I want to learn to work together. To win your heart. Mein Geist. Du bist so wertvoll für mich. Ich möchte dir näher kommen und mit dir zusammenarbeiten. Sometimes my attention goes one direction and you pull into another direction and we never meet, and there's upheaval and disconnection. Manchmal geht meine Aufmerksamkeit in eine andere Richtung und du ziehst in die andere Richtung. Und wir treffen uns nicht. Es ist eine innere Trennung, ein innerer Aufruhr, der stattfindet. Actually, it would be so easy just to be present with you. To be aware where you are at. To value you. And consciously connect. Eigentlich wäre es doch so einfach. Einfach ganz präsent zu sein, dich wahrzunehmen, wertzuschätzen. Sodass eine innere Verbindung stattfinden kann. Now, just talking to you, I feel very close and connected, and I feel your presence. Jetzt, nur indem ich bewusst zu dir spreche, dich wahrnehme. Fühle ich diese innere Verbundenheit. And let's now go to a special place of healing together. Lass uns jetzt zusammen zu einem besonderen Ort der Heilung gehen. I hold your hand and I take you there. It's a place, a sacred place. Total peace and serenity. Place of healing and growth. Ich nehme dich jetzt an der Hand und führe dich zu diesem heiligen Ort der Heilung. Einem Ort der absoluten Ruhe und des Friedens. Es ist ein Ort der Heilung. And let us sit together in front of the Supreme Light, the source of healing. Und lass uns zusammen vor das höchste Licht sitzen. Die Quelle der Heilung. And I'm holding your hand. And together we are absorbing the purest light. Und ich halte deine Hand. Und zusammen absorbieren wir das reinste Licht. And at this moment, Nothing else matters. In diesem Moment hat alles andere keine Wichtigkeit. You, my mind, and I with the light. Du, mein Geist und ich zusammen vor dem Licht. And the light is healing, reconnecting, putting together the broken pieces. And we're just watching, enjoying, being healed. Das Licht verbindet uns völlig. Bringt die zerbrochenen Teile wieder zusammen. Heilt uns. Macht uns wieder ganz. Und ich genieße zusammen mit dir dieses heilende Bad im Licht. And I enjoy together with you this healing bath of light.
Breathe on me, breath of life. Shake the dust from the stars tonight. light a candle in my name. Together maybe we could learn to change. The gift of silver becomes a gift of gold. The deepest secrets will unfold. The night is shattered by the rising sun, and all the earth will sing the same song. Breathe on me, breath of love. Wrap the broken pieces of this heart. Find the voices, make them still, and hold the shadows back and drink your fill. I'm tired of fighting words stored in my head, and all the dreams we've lived unsaid. The sun is rising, now it won't be long till all the earth will sing the same song. Breathe on me, breath of life, and shake the dust from the stars tonight. Light a candle, say my name. Together maybe we could learn to change. Together maybe we could learn to change.
Shanti. Good evening. I'm handing over to Matthias. Schönen Abend. Ich übergebe jetzt an Matthias.
Good evening. Welcome to this last session of the introductory course to Raj Yoga meditation. Saying this, I just remember what the promise was actually at the beginning. We said that Raj Yoga meditation is about becoming Raj, king over the self. And now it's almost the end of the course, and we notice maybe we have become a little bit more Raj, a little bit more king over situations, over emotions, over thoughts, feelings. But certainly we would also notice that it's a way, it's a journey, basically. We still need to learn, we need to practice. And with practice, we become better and better. So normally we would share and ask what the questions are. And now this is not so much possible. But what I would like to do is, in 5, 6, 7 minutes, I would like to take you through the course and just to remind you of what we have been discussing and what we learned. And then connected with that, I will also highlight a few milestones of the story of this organization. It's because it's very much connected with the knowledge itself. Anyway, first of all, we started off talking about the question, who am I? Who am I really? And this very simple fact that I am a soul and I have a body and not the other way around. This is like the basis of everything else. And this is something really, if you forget about the rest, but if you keep this one main point with you, who am I? I am an eternal being. If this becomes your experience, there would be so much change in many ways. If I experience myself to be eternal, an eternal being, there would be so much security and contentment, and especially there wouldn't be any fears. What do you fear if you experience yourself to be eternal? But then we looked at deeper into that. Not only we are an eternal being, but what is this being made of? This being of light, the soul. What does it consist of? It's not just a point of light, a point of consciousness. That's true, but within that, there's all the qualities actually we are looking for in our lives. And this sounds so simple, but it's actually very deep. We look for peace outside because we lost the connection with our peace inside. If we hadn't lost the connection with our peace inside, that means if I was stable in my peace, then I could deal very easily with peaceless situations around me. And I would bring peace into these peaceless situations. And this is actually what is needed now. If I was connected with my inner joy, then I wouldn't expect others to bring me joy. Because I have it. And very naturally in my connections, relationships, I would bring this joy in there. So this is the most basic practice. I am a peaceful soul. I am a happy soul. I am a loving soul. Love, a big thing. The soul needs so much love. We just need that. But when we seek love from outside, then there would always be disappointment and actually also hurt. Because people sometimes, they're just not able to give love. You know, they go through their own stuff themselves. So, and then there's no love coming, and then there's irritation. So let me connect with my own love. And in this awareness we call soul consciousness. Every morning, this must be the practice. You get up, first thing you start reminding yourself of your true nature. This is what I am. Maybe you have a challenging day in front of you, but you already know in the morning, at the end of the day, it's still what I will be. I am a peaceful soul, an eternal being of light. Nothing and no one can change this. Soul consciousness. In the morning, falling asleep with this awareness, in your own power, falling asleep, not in a weak consciousness, but in your strength, you fall asleep like this. And then we were looking at what is going on in the soul. Mind, intellect, sanskaras, subconscious mind. You remember this diagram. All the time, information from the subconscious mind comes into the conscious mind, and then we remember, we relive past experiences. But then we have the intellect, and we can observe inside what is going on. Why is my relationship like this? What thoughts do I have towards this person or towards a situation? So with an awakened intellect, this is the third eye. With an awakened intellect, I can start taking control over my inner world. Rather waiting and see what comes from the subconscious in my mind, I put the thoughts in my mind that I want. Like, I am a peaceful, powerful soul. Or you're going to have a conversation with someone and you feel a little bit tight beforehand. You prepare. This person is also a good soul. We all want the best. We all want the best. I just have to be in my self-respect, peaceful and full of self-respect. So this is the thoughts we can think. And then we were looking at we were looking at, to whom do I belong? If I'm a soul, to whom does the soul belong? The soul belongs to the Supreme Soul. Very natural. Very natural. Among all the 8 or 9 billion souls, there is one Supreme Soul who does not take a body. And that's why he is always in his power, in his love. It's a powerhouse of peace, a powerhouse of love. We only need to connect from point to the supreme point. And this being has been given many names: God, Shiva, Allah. And I mentioned in the course that we call him or her, if you like, if you want so, Baba. Ba, mother, Baba, father. So there's this intimate, very natural relationship of the soul with the father or with the mother, the parent. And this relationship is eternal. Everything changes except for this relationship throughout time. And then we were looking at, where do we come from? I mentioned yesterday evening already, the soul. Where does the soul come from? The soul doesn't come from Zurich, nor Lucerne, nor Nidwalden, nor Geneva. No, the soul is not from this world. The soul is not from this world. It's from another dimension. It's from the home of silence, or supreme abode, or the land of silence, all different names. A very beautiful and very well-known name for this dimension is Nirvana. Near, beyond, Havana, sound. The land beyond sound. That's why at times we feel, oh, I just need silence, please, please. Just a bit silence. Because we come from the home of silence, the land of silence. We come from there, and eventually it will be time to go back there. After a long, long journey. You're looking forward to that? To go home, take rest? In the soul world, just be peace, just existence, pure existence. No movement, no sound, no change. That's the soul world, our home. Shiv Baba is there. With our mind we can go there and connect. Connect seems very technical, that's the technique, but it's more a relationship. The more we feel a relationship, the more we actually can draw this energy of love and peace. The more closer I feel, the more we experience. How can you come closer to someone, anyone? You talk to him. With any person, you want to feel closer, you share. You share from your heart. After this, we were talking about the law of karma, the law of action. And also very natural, it says, when you think good, when you speak good, when you do good, there would be a good return. We experience that. That's not a secret. But also all in our lives, there's no exception. All of us in our lives, we also face challenges. Because we have done mistakes in the past, in this life, previous lives. Because we didn't know any better, so we did mistakes. We could say not a big deal. We did mistakes, or we didn't have the power to make it better. So, no, it's like when a child has a mistake, that parents would say, yeah, it's fine, it's not so bad, it's just the consequences, these are there now, so make the best now out of it. And the law of karma actually says very beautifully, The situation of us is exactly as it is. You would like to create another situation? You would like to create a good future for yourself? You would like to get a good fruit in form of a good life, good feelings, good relationships, and then plant the seeds now. You want to improve a relationship? Start changing your thinking. But also, now we said that the soul is purified from all the past accounts in this connection with the Supreme Soul. This is actually the big, almost secret. Why is it so beneficial to have this relationship with God? Not that others think we are good, we are religious. This is nothing to do with religion. It's about personal experience. So when we have again and again this connection, the soul is purified. It's like, one could say, shadows from the past are cleansed out. The soul starts more and more sparkling and regains its old strength, the forgotten purity, the original purity. And you feel that change practically in our lives. And this connection with the Supreme, with Baba, with God, is not only when we sit for yoga. This is another important aspect. Also, when you do action, when you wash dishes, when you cook, you can have this connection, this loving relationship inside, loving conversation. This is called karma yoga. Means yoga in karma, yoga in action. Afterwards, we were looking at the cycle, the wonderful cycle of time. And it says that all is eternal. That not that there hasn't been an earth and suddenly it was created. No, it all is eternal, going through cycle. Like spring, summer, autumn, winter, like the whole human story is a cyclic story. A story where the beginning, because souls, we souls are pure and sparkling and not needing anything. Because we are so powerful, it is remembered as the Golden Age. Or different names. According to tradition, religion, language, we call it the Golden Age. Not only we, others also. Golden Age turns into Silver Age because the souls, we use up slowly our energy. And then we forget finally, at the end of the Silver Age, we slowly forget that we are spiritual beings and we start thinking ourselves of bodies. And then we start looking of sense gratification. We look for happiness outside, peace outside, through the senses. And then we become dependent. Copper Age turns into Iron Age. And then, how turns Iron Age into Golden Age? There is a small age in between, the confluence age. For us now it's a confluence age. That means the new, we could say new world, or the renewed world, or the new time is now being created. When we change our awareness, it's, God is remembered as the creator because he changes that which has become old and energy laws, how to say that in English, on a very low, everything has reached a level of very low energy. Spiritual energy is very low. So it's like the confluence age. The Supreme Being comes and infuses this spiritual energy. And from old, it becomes new. A new time is ahead. So there may be some more there would definitely be some more challenges coming after COVID-19. This is not the end of the challenging time, I believe. But when you look a little bit further, there is a very bright era waiting for us. And let's create this era with new thoughts and with keeping this connection again and again and again. And then we were talking about the tree of humanity. Tree of humanity, at the beginning, the trunk of this genealogical tree, Stammbaum, there's one community, one mindset, one culture, one language. And then only from the copper age onwards, and this tree starts spreading. And then a new cultures, new religions appear. And so humanity becomes becomes a big variety, which has its beauty, but now it's turned into one human family with 9 billion of leaves, and every leaf is a soul, and everyone has a different opinion. So there's so much conflict now, many different opinions. And we only need to remember that we all belong to the same tree. And the seed, the root of this tree of humanity, it's for all the same. It's the Supreme Soul. So like when we keep this in awareness, we start feeling very close to others, even though they may have very different lifestyles and opinions, but we know we are from the same family tree. And then at the end, we are looking at spiritual lifestyle. How can we maintain our spirituality in daily life or increase our spirituality? And there were 4 pillars. First pillar, Gyan. Spiritual knowledge. Every day we need to remind ourselves. Ideally, half an hour study. We are very open and happy to welcome you on Skype to join in for the morning class every day. Everyone who has done the introductory course can join. At 6 o'clock, we start a call, the Skype, and then we listen to a spiritual class. And when you listen to that, you would leave the house in a very different feeling, in a sense of stability and fullness. It's like you not only had your physical breakfast for the body, but you also had the breakfast for the soul. So you feel that the soul got strength and is ready for the day, to face the day. So this is the first spiritual study. And then yoga. The practice of yoga, of remembrance, remembering to whom do I belong, remembering my supreme parent, the subtle friend, the invisible friend, the eternal mother, this connection. Third, dharana, inculcation, practice of virtues. Not only knowing that I'm peaceful, but bringing this peace into action, bringing this love into action, bringing this contentment, also strength and stability. And then fourth, and there was also we highlighted the influence of food on the mind. Pure food helps to be peaceful. Vegetarian food, big help. Big help. Just today, someone has sent me a short video about egg production. I mean, I don't eat eggs anyway, but when you see that, you think twice whether you want to touch an egg or not. Anyway, the fourth pillar of spiritual lifestyle is seva, means passing on or supporting others, doing good for others, serving. That means transcending this limited I-ness, that I contribute to others' well-being, to others' progress. I understood something for myself, let me pass it on to others. That was a summary of everything we have been discussed. It didn't take 5 minutes, as I said, but it took 20 minutes. And now you could actually ask, how do you know? How do you guys know about the cycle? Why should you know that everything is cyclic? How do you know about mind, intellect, sanskaras? Who told you? About the soul, this clarity. Soul is a point of light. God is not omnipresent, is not something huge somewhere, but is an infinitesimal point of light. Absolutely powerful. Like the spiritual sun. How do you know? And here, this is connected with how everything began. And this is the story of the founder of this organization. I would like to show you a picture. So you would see that a little bit. This is the founder. Founder, we call him Brahma Baba. So this Brahma Baba, he was actually born into a quite simple family. But as a young boy already, he was very interested in studying scriptures. And he was very accurate in studying. And in young age, he had a very philanthropical touch. That means he liked donating, giving to others. And then he started a business and ended up being a very, very successful jeweler. So his business was with jewelry. And he reached a kind of very high level in society, but still remained very simple. He had a family with 4 children, a very simple life, but a very clean life, and even though very successful, and everybody loved him. And he then turned towards 60. He had many gurus, actually. Normally, you have one guru for your whole life in India, but he had many gurus because he felt, I don't know, it's nice, he could help me, but I get stuck. There must be something else. So he would change a guru. He had 12 gurus eventually. And then, towards the age of 60, he became very silent, very introvert. And he just wanted to understand more about himself. And he withdrew a little bit. He engaged a lot in meditation. And then at some point in the 30s, 1930s, it happens that he had visions. He had a vision of a completely new age to come, a new era, where everything was in a best condition, and where the conduct of people and the relationships was absolutely full of love, and where there was abundance of wealth for everyone, and the nature was rich. And so he had this vision. And then he had a second vision. And the second vision was of how the systems of the present world, how they would collapse, breaking away for this new age to come, to give space for this new age. So these were connected, these two visions. The vision of the new age, but also the end of the old age. And he didn't know what's happening. So he withdrew more and more, and he tried to understand what's happening. And then he felt that he knows things that he didn't know before. And he didn't know why he knows it. He couldn't explain that. And then he found that every morning there would kind of a power enter him and giving spiritual knowledge through him. And it was only later that he found out that the Supreme Soul would pass spiritual knowledge through him about the soul, about the Supreme Soul, about the cycle of time. So everything, basically, what we teach here in this Raj Yoga course is everything that was delivered through Brahma Bhava. You could say divine revelations. These were things he didn't know before. He didn't know. But then on a daily basis, there would be these revelations. And what happened is that people in the city, this was in Karachi, Pakistan. At that time, it still belonged to India. people in the city, they heard about that and they were completely fascinated. Oh, Brahma Baba, yeah, go to him. And then people would go and join his gatherings, and they all, not all, but many would have visions. And then they went back and said, go to Brahma Baba, you get visions of a new age, of the golden age. And he himself at that time, he only started understanding what's going on. Anyway, he always thought it's very important to empower the women. So, being a very successful jeweler, he said, what is happening here is so much more important. Like my jewelry business, even though it's so well going, it seems like completely ridiculous, completely meaningless. So he sold off his business to his business partner, and he took the money, and then he just engaged himself into this spiritual study. And every morning, people would come and they would gather and they would listen to spiritual knowledge. And they would find that their lives are transforming. Especially, the biggest part of these gatherings were women. And Brahma Baba felt that the women, they should be given more rights. So he founded a trust, and he made the women the head of this organization, which was highly unusual in 13s in India, where there were not many rights for women. But then furthermore, what happened? All these women who came to these gatherings and started meditating, they would become so powerful and they would change their lives. So these were mostly very young women, young as 14, 15, 16, sometimes 20, but they would change their lives and they would become very powerful. And guess what? Men didn't like that at all. So the whole society actually turned against Brahma Baba. And they accused him, they abused him, they set one of his buildings, they set that on fire, and they took him to court, and there were articles about him in the newspapers defaming him. So, and there is this a nobleman who has had this high prestige and was honored by everyone, and then everyone, the whole society turned against him. You can imagine how much power and how much self-respect you must have. But he kept saying, well, it's not me who's doing, it's Shiv Baba doing through me. I'm not responsible. So he kept himself free. And these women, being so much empowered, they were not ready to live the traditional life that was completely dictated to them by society. No, spirituality is for men. You will be married off with 14, 15, 16 years, and then the rest of your life you spend in your family. You don't have a job. They didn't want that. And so they went against all social conventions. And they became pillars. Some of them are still actually alive. And Dadi Ratan Mohini, she would relate sometimes. When we go to India, she would relate of these times. Tell stories, what they experienced. Ishu Dadi, Ratan Moini Dadi, Dadi Gulzar. So very, very few of these young ladies, they're still here, now 90, 95 years old. So they became powerful, they became independent. And then then there was the civil war in India, and Pakistan was then separated from India. And they moved into another place, and then there was a community of 300 people. They lived actually kind of separated from the rest of society. In this other city, in Karachi, they were appreciated, but they lived secluded. And what only they did for 14 years, they only daily studied spiritual knowledge, and they practiced. I'm a soul, you are soul. We are going to change this world. There will be a new time coming. So they fully ground this knowledge into themselves, and they made it into their being. And became ever stronger. And then one could say they learned how to live. They learned how to live. What you do and what you don't do. What matters and what doesn't matter. What you eat, how you move around. They learned how to live, basically. They became kind of models, role models for what it means to be practically spiritual persons. And so they moved then to India. And in India, they moved to Mount Abu. Because in Pakistan, it being a Muslim country, it got a bit delicate there. And so they moved to India as a Hindu country. So they went to Mount Abu. And then what happens is they settle down, and at some point they completely run out of money. Brahma Baba, all his wealth, which must have been quite a lot, all his wealth was used up because he sustained like 300 people. Most of them, they came with nothing. They left their families. Some families would support them, of course, but others didn't. And so there was a point where they didn't have any money, and they only could trust. And they lived, they told us these stories. They said, sometimes we wouldn't know what we're going to eat in the evening. But Brahma Baba, always complete faith, saying, these are all Shiv Baba's children, so he's responsible. He will watch over everyone. And so they would go in the forest and collect berries and eat those. And then a famous story is how at some point someone from the kitchen came to Brahma Baba and said, Baba, we have nothing. We don't know what we're going to serve the whole community tonight. Brahma Baba said, it's his responsibility, I don't know. A few hours later, an envelope arrived with a check. The check could be brought to the bank. They could go to the market, buy grain, rice, and so there was dinner. So somehow it always continued, but a very, very simple life. A very simple life. So in the whole organization, they would have one chair. No, two chairs. One for Brahma Baba, because he was at that time close to 90, 80. And then another chair for a guest. And so just the absolutely most basic infrastructure. Someone getting up at 3 o'clock at night, boiling water, so that when they got up at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, that they could have a little bit hot water to mix in the cold water, because Mount Abu is 1,600 meters altitude. So December, January, it can be as cold as 1, 2, 3, 4 degrees. So, and then there was a point when Brahma Baba said, by instruction of Shiv Baba, they said, now this knowledge have to spread. It's not that we only can keep it for ourselves here in our community. This has to spread. And so these women, they went off for different cities. Some of them, they didn't have money in their hands their whole life. They never bought a train ticket, but they took their little bag and they were sent off to different cities without knowing anyone and just see what's going to happen. And then here a center was established, and there a center was established. One more, someone said, okay, this is good what you have to share. I give you a hall, you can use my hall for free. And then others, they would give them a house or a flat. And so like this, it continued, because from the beginning, all the courses, everything was always free of cost. It was always, this is godly knowledge. Nobody can sell that. So take it for free. Even literature, books, it was said, this is for free. If you have a little bit money, you can give it. Then we will print more. If you are poor, then you just take it. So that's how everything began. And now, 8 years later, 70 years later, there's many thousand centers in India, and this knowledge then spread all over the world. Now in 110 or 20 countries, there is centers. Of course, in a much lower scale, smaller scale than in India. In India and Delhi, you have like 120 centers or even more, I don't know. Someone said at least 120 centers. And it's such a big organization. Now it's grown to the largest organization, spiritual organization led by women. And nobody owns this organization. Nobody says, this building is mine. Even though that nowadays it's in India, there's almost a little village, and nobody says, this is my building. It doesn't belong to anyone. Everyone has the consciousness, this is God's work. This is not mine. Nobody can claim a right over anything. And so this is going on. This is still going on. And so the motivation is just to spread this knowledge, to enable others also to understand themselves, to understand how to connect with the Supreme, to draw this energy into the soul so that everyone's life may be transformed. And in the time we are living now, is there anything more precious? Is there anything more important than making yourself inside so full and stable that you can be actually of help when there's difficult situations. No, when others are peaceless and you can, with your own peace, when you can cool down the fire of anger, it's nice. It's very beautiful. And it's only a matter of enough souls drawing this pure energy into the soul. And when the critical mass is reached, the system will flap. The time will change. All will become new. I literally can imagine, at some point, there will be the atmosphere that is filled with these vibrations and the information. Now is the time to change. Now God is doing His creation. Let go of the old. And people will be able to transform, to let go. And so we can contribute to that. Wherever we are, in all connections, it's just a matter of how do I use my thoughts? How do I use my time? How do I use my wealth, my money? What is my aim? It's all this inner transformation that will then bring a transformation on the external level too. Basically, that's it. We will then finish off with just literally 2-3 minutes of meditation. Maybe a closing word would be, if you have an idea for yourself, how would you like to continue? Whether you would like to be connected with us, whether you would like to hear more or come once in a while here, we are open again. Yeah, we are here. It's just you would have to tell us what you want. And on Tuesday we have also a kind of advanced group, those who study the knowledge we study in the morning. I said we have one evening also, Tuesday evening, where we read these kind of classes. And if you just feel no, meditation is fine, then please connect with us in the evenings and meditate with us, or come here. No, Saturday, Sunday, 1 hour meditation, sometimes 1.5 hour. It's so beautiful just to have this 1.5 hour silence for the self. It's so empowering. Okay. 8:30. I thank you all for being with the whole group. I think it was, as I would think there was a very stable group of about 9 souls who really attended almost all the classes. Julia asks, yeah, it's possible to do only the Tuesday evening, yeah, and even this actually is very empowering, because it's so rich. Let's say you say, okay, Tuesday evening, this is my study evening. That's fine. You take notes, and then you have the whole day, the whole week. You have something to ponder on, to go back to reflect on, to go into the depths of it. So this works very well. Yeah. Sometimes we have retreats also, where you have a whole weekend. That's also very empowering. Sometimes we do one-day programs. They just, for one day, we start at maybe 10 o'clock, and then with a vegetarian lunch, and we end about 4 o'clock. And it feels like getting an injection of spiritual energy, to have almost a whole day for the self. This is also something empowering. And of course, we would let you know. You get all the newsletter. We would announce these kind of programs in the newsletter. And if you would like to attend the Tuesday evening class, sometimes it's in English, sometimes it's in German, because there's one person who doesn't understand English, but we would then find a way how all can benefit. So if you are interested in that, then please write us an email, and then we can connect with the Skype. Okay. That's it. So we can close with 2-3 minutes of silence. I turn within. Turning within means letting go of the physical identity. I focus my attention on the center of the forehead. Knowing that I am this living being of light in the forehead. I visualize this living conscious being that I am. And then with one thought, I imagine myself to be in the soul world, surrounded by golden red light all over. Surrounded by silence, in an atmosphere of complete security. And in this dimension, in this land of peace, there is a Supreme Soul. The Mother and Father of all souls. And He radiates His light of love, not only in all directions, but also specifically for me. And these rays of love reach me, touch me, transform me, the soul. This is the subtle connection that cannot be seen with physical eyes, but it can be experienced. A direct connection to the light of God, to God's love. After all, He's the Father of all souls. Why should I not be able to connect? To have a relationship? I look into this light. I open my heart. And then coming back to this dimension here doesn't mean to let go of this eternal connection. It's just that I become a little bit more present here to play my role, knowing that my home is not here. Om Shanti. Thanks so much to everyone. Looking forward to see one or the other of you in real here in the center. You're most welcome anytime. I play a video for just a few minutes. And I wish you a pleasant evening. Om Shanti, many thanks.